In the short term, it probably is going to feel messy and it's going to feel confusing because that's when you're working out the kinks. And in the short term, you're really trying to figure out what would actually work long term anyway.
When it feels like you're losing the most, sometimes that means long term you're actually winning the most. And if you can keep that perspective, I think it helps you persevere.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, episode number 1514. Don't kid yourself about what you care about. Today, for episode number 1515, juggling short-term and long-term. Also, my wonderful wife got the pizza bagel song stuck in my head, so I was just singing it to Alan. I was serenading him.
Give us a little quip.
Me. Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can eat pizza anytime.
Nice.
So something like that, I think, is how it goes. So why are we doing this episode? It's been a weird week of recording so far.
Oh, man.
I like the direction.
The 90s were a great time. Early 2000s? Is that early
I don't know.
2000s?
I watched the commercial for it, and it was bopping.
Made me think of Bop It. You remember that thing?
Yeah, of course. Bop it.
Bop it, pull it, twist it.
Twist it.
Yep. I had one of those.
I never had one of those.
What a useless toy.
I had a Razor scooter with a wheelie bar and lights. You have lights on
With
it?
lights.
Yeah.
No.
You ain't
I'm
shit.
telling you, 90s and early 2000s. Remember
Hey.
Pogs, man?
You ain't
Pogs.
shit. You ain't shit.
Pokemon cards and Pogs.
Of course.
Son.
All right, let's get to it. I had a holographic Charizard. Lost it. Think it was worth thousands of dollars. I lost it. All right, juggling short-term and long-term. Alan and I were talking today, and he said, Kev, now you're going to value fitness at a higher rate because you're going to value fitness for the results it'll create for you in jiu-jitsu. So for those of you who don't know, I don't know how you couldn't know because I've been mentioning it every single episode and every chance I can. I went back to Brazilian jiu-jitsu. And I said, it's actually
you did?
Yeah.
What a total shocker.
Yeah, it's shocking, isn't it?
That's the first time I'm hearing of that.
Well, now you know, and now it's a fact. I signed up on Sunday. It's official.
Nice.
It's official now. Where was I going before you rudely interrupted me?
You were talking about
I know,
fitness
I'm kidding.
and jiu-jitsu.
I just want to make you feel bad for a second. Did you feel bad at all?
No, not really.
This is a weird week for us.
Yeah.
Why do you think we're so weird today?
I'm in a good place.
You're in a good place.
We both are.
We both are. That is correct.
We both are.
All right. Why are we doing this episode? Alan said, you're going to value fitness now more for jiu-jitsu. I said, honestly, it's actually quite the opposite. And he said, leaned in and said, please tell me more. And I said, my body is pretty destroyed from going back to jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is a whole thing. And when you're doing live rounds with people, you're moving your body in ways you haven't in a while. My hips are like so sore. I didn't know your hips could get sore. My hips are very sore. My shoulder is jeffed because I did something to my shoulder. Not in a bad way. I just pulled something. I'm using a lot of muscles that I haven't used. And I said, I'm in a weird place right now where I don't feel like I'm making almost any progress in fitness. Because I'll go to jiu-jitsu 2 days in a row, and then I'm jeffed for like 3 days. And then by the time I'm ready to exercise again, I don't want to go to the gym. I want to go back to jiu-jitsu. So in a way, I'm kind of struggling just in a different way than I was struggling before. Now it's how do I juggle going and grappling and going and lifting weights. And what I'm really doing is I'm juggling short-term and long-term. I have a fear in my mind, and it's running almost at all times, of what you're doing right now isn't sustainable. So you've heard us mention the 3 important words for us all to know: sustainability, consistency, and improvement. Right now, I don't really have a good schedule of when I go to jiu-jitsu and when I go train, when I go lift. I don't really have a good schedule. Now I'm all over the place. I don't feel like I'm making any progress. I feel like I'm kind of running on a treadmill here, in a way. I feel very stuck. But I also understand that's just a short-term issue. Juggling the short-term issue of feeling stuck because I don't really have a good workout regimen yet based on this new thing that I'm doing, with the understanding that in order to do this long term, I have to get back into the flow short term, and I have to work through these sorenesses that I'm going to have to overcome and figure out what classes are the best for me to go to, and then figure out what days I want to do what lifts, what a Saturday and Sunday look like, because those are different. Maybe this is a me thing. I don't know. But whether you're watching or listening, maybe this will resonate with you. When I start something, it's very hard for me to do it if I don't know it's sustainable. If it doesn't feel sustainable to do something, it's very hard for me to even want to do it in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So,
same.
Right? If the jiu-jitsu gym is 8 minutes down the road, if it was 45 minutes down the road, I wouldn't have gone.
No chance.
It never would have happened to begin with. It has to be sustainable. Right now, balancing and I'll say juggling these two fitness things for me, it doesn't seem super sustainable because I don't have the path yet. That doesn't mean I won't. So that would be my early next level nugget for this episode. When you're juggling short-term and long-term anything, understanding in the short term, it probably is going to feel messy and it's going to feel confusing because that's when you're working out the kinks. And in the short term, you're really trying to figure out what would actually work long-term anyway. So that would be my early next level nugget for this episode.
You said early next level nugget. It's actually not that early because we did all that singing and
I
talking
forgot
about the
that
90s
was
and all
live.
That.
And everybody was actually part of it.
It's not actually that early of a next level nugget.
I know,
We're actually
we're 8
almost done
minutes
with
in.
the episode.
Yeah, it's wild.
We should do that more often. I'm kidding. So I adore this topic. I think Kevin tends to be more of a short-term thinker. I tend to be more of a long-term thinker. So we're kind of yin and yang in that. Emilia is a longer-term thinker than I am. I'm a shorter-term thinker, so we're a yin and yang in that. So I've kind of got the best of both worlds going here, which is really cool. I think that at all times we're all balancing both. You have your past, your present, and your future, and every time you add something to your present, your future gets bigger or smaller, but the struggle in the present gets higher. I mean, even with the holidays coming up, I know October, November, December are really big holiday months globally. Emilia and I are hosting Thanksgiving this year at our place. And
what time should I be down? Doing early or
come
you want to come the next day? I'll come down the next day.
You ever see Happy Gilmore where he says, I'll meet you the 9th green at 9?
Yeah.
And it's just the sprinklers go off at the 9th green at 9. I wanted to do that with Kev. I want you to meet us at the 9th green at 9, Kev.
Done.
Just sitting there and like fully, hey, dress nice, you know? He's sitting there just getting, oh, it's funny. Anyways, Kev, if you really need somewhere to be at Thanksgiving, you're welcome. I know you're being playful. So anyways, we are being very proactive thanks to, Emilia is being very proactive. And we're going to get it catered at Wegmans. It's going to be awesome. But we know this is the first year we're hosting, and we know it's going to be an S show. This is the first time we've ever hosted in this house. We don't have enough chairs. We don't have a big enough table. We're being very proactive, but we also know there's going to be a ton of failing forward. And so short term, we're jeffed. Long term, this is going to be great. We're going to start hosting holidays instead of having to travel and all that kind of stuff. And long term, I'm super excited, but short term, you have to know it's going to be a struggle. So whether it's Kevin balancing jiu-jitsu and weight training, or it's balancing holidays and success, or holidays and fitness, whatever, holidays and insert whatever goal you have, the short term will be a struggle. And then if you take that struggle, I always say, turn your frustration into fascination and your fascination into transformation. Emilia and I have made a bunch of pivots lately. Not only are we going to be hosting the holidays, but a whole bunch of other household pivots. I actually got a text from Emilia today saying, hey, did you do your noon? Kevin and I were masterminding, and he was there for this, and I read it out loud. Did you do your noon shift? And I was like, I looked at my clock. I looked at my Apple Watch. I was like, It is 1:28. No, definitely didn't. So we pivoted this yesterday. we decided, so there's 5 shifts, and I know that this is relatable. Everyone has a household pets. Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Hello, my name is Eddie Pinero.
do
I'm the
5
founder
shifts
of
taking
Your
Tucker
World Within.
There's the
And I
morning
wanted
shift
to take
is
a second
mine,
and just
then she
express
she
how
used to have
valuable
noon,
working with Alan has
5
been.
PM, then
His
we both
ability to help me
do
create
7,
clarity
then we
and
both
maintain
do
focus
bedtime
on my
before
big picture goals
I do
has been
before bed, and then we
huge.
bring
You know,
the
he's been a
best.
huge asset with
So,
the roadmap as
I was
well.
supposed to take
The
over the noon shift.
day-to-day
Hammered
things,
right
the
now.
little things that
Didn't
we
do it.
sometimes
The reason why
overlook.
is because it's new.
I think anyone looking to,
I'm
grow themselves,
podcasting with Kev,
grow
masterminding with
a
Kev,
business
business
or,
with Kev.
or both,
I
would truly
forgot
benefit
pets.
from having
Completely
Alan as an
forgot.
ally
Brand
along
new
the way.
system. So she was playful. She's
Again,
like, I
great
took care of it,
mind,
no
but more
worries.
importantly,
next time, better
solid
luck next
dude.
time, basically. And I think that's the case with everything new. So jiu-jitsu is new for Kev, and he's having a hard time sustaining other stuff while trying to create this new sustainable system. And as long as you keep at it, you'll find a way to make it all work. And I shouldn't say make it all work like it's going to work easily. What I mean by make it all work is you'll find a way to work it in, but do not get it twisted. As pessimistic as this sounds, it will be nothing short of an absolute struggle to stay consistent at jiu-jitsu and weight training and being a husband and running a household and being a business owner. And I think that it's empowering. A lot of people think I'm really depressing. I think it's empowering to face the fact that life is super difficult. It is. It's going to be difficult. Going to jiu-jitsu for Kevin, he's audioed me, it's like the most fulfilled I've seen him in years.
I feel good. But
Right.
bad.
See? Real good. But it's going to be so difficult to continue with all the other trains he already had rolling. And I think that that's life. I really do. And I think it's empowering to just face that. So yeah, Thanksgiving will be awesome. And I'm super pumped. But it's also going to be brutal. I don't know how catering works. I've never catered Thanksgiving before. I don't know how much it's going to cost. We did some research. It should be like $600, something like that. And we're winging it. We're failing forward. And we're going to tell everybody, listen, this first time, please understand, first time is always an S show. And it doesn't mean it's going to get easy. It means it'll get easier, assuming we get better.
It's a very hard thing to explain because I don't know if I did justice in my explanation, but yeah, right now it feels like I'm losing at both. So let's just say you have thing A and thing B, and you were doing thing A really, really well. And then thing B comes along, and you're like, I want to try, this thing B I really, really enjoy. Then you go try thing B. When you try it, thing A slows down a little bit. But you also can't do thing B full time yet, so that kind of slows down. So I went from exercising 6 times a week, at least, sometimes 7, depending, to exercising 3 times a week, and mostly jiu-jitsu. So right now it feels like I'm losing. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard for me internally to not freak out. Like there's a part of me that's freaking out. That I can't lift heavy. I'm freaking out a little bit. But there's also a part of me that knows my workouts are going to be different because I'm going to be training for different things. So I don't know what it is for you. It most likely isn't jiu-jitsu because that would be a wild coincidence. Maybe it is. Shout out to you if it is. But what is that for you where in the short run it almost seems like you're losing? And I think this is life and growth and success in general. But maybe you have 2 specific arenas right now where it feels like you're losing at both, but it kind of has to feel like you're losing at both, so eventually you can win at both. That's really that was my entire intention behind this episode. And it happens in the business. Sometimes it happens in relationships. So for you, where is that happening? What specific 2 arenas do you feel like you almost have to slow down on both so you can go fast with both eventually?
There's a book called The One Thing by Gary Keller, and while I think it's a concept that can be really powerful, I think they overdo it. Essentially, the concept in the book is pick your one thing and go all in on that, which at NLU we're holistic, so we pick a couple things and go all in and harmonize those instead of just one. We don't want to be wealthy and not healthy. We don't want to be healthy and not in love, that kind of thing. But the book has a really powerful quote that I think is relevant here, which is, life is actually a short race. It's an all-out sprint until you create a habit, and then it's a marathon. Mm. And so I think right now, Kev's in that sort of, I had this habit of 6 days a week weight training, and that was a habit, and he was crushing it in that. Now I'm going to add B, jiu-jitsu, and now it's like, okay, that's not a habit yet, and that's now taking away from A. But if you can stay consistent and run those in tandem, the Kevin on the other end of that long term will be better for it.
Yeah.
And as long as you have faith in that and you believe in that and get better as you go, it's going to be a really good thing. And the last thing I'll share here is, I always say this, I always will. I think the party bus leads to mediocrity, and I think the struggle bus leads to greatness. And I don't mean greatness in any esoteric way of just success. I mean whatever your flavor of greatness is. So another way to look at this is when it feels like you're losing short term, you're actually most likely growing. To the Lonely Land episode that we talked about of heartbreak a couple episodes ago, it felt like we were losing. Little did we know we were on the path to becoming the men who were going to attract our future wives. And that, when it feels like you're losing the most, sometimes that means long term you're actually winning the most. And if you can keep that perspective, I think it helps you persevere.
Is that your next level nugget, sir?
Yes.
Did I give? I think I gave several next level nuggets.
I think, we talked about Razor scooters, so.
Well, also, my apologies to anybody who has the pizza bagel song stuck in your head, because that is catchy. That
Definitely.
song is catchy. That's how they get you.
You remember, what was that commercial? It was always on at my friend's house. Ooh la la creme. It was a, okay, you apparently never heard it. It was a yogurt commercial.
Excuse me? No, I run away. Yogurt is the grossest thing on the planet to me.
I had yogurt last night.
I'm just getting to the point.
Greek yogurt.
I'm just
with
getting to
honey.
the point where I can eat that.
Yeah.
But I have to put protein in
You
it.
put chocolate in there.
What's the point? I might as well just have ice cream then. Son?
Mm-mm.
Halo top.
Yogurt is all protein, no fat,
Yep.
protein and carbs. Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
And then you add the fat with chocolate.
Halo top.
Yeah.
I like
Also
my Halo
great.
tops. They're they get expensive after a while, so it's not fiscally responsible. Next Level Nation, if you have not joined our private Facebook group yet, and you're looking for a group of like-minded humans who value growth and evolution and vulnerability and just getting to the next level, whatever that means. Could mean sharing something like I shared today about struggling with juggling multiple things. It could be, hey, I don't feel like my partner understands me. It could be anything. A safe place where you feel safe to be vulnerable. Please join Next Level Nation. We will have the link in the show notes. It is our private Facebook group meant for you, designed for you, and filled with amazing humans like you.
I want you to imagine it is the end of 2024. So it's a year and 2 months from now. What would success look like for you? If I said you will be a success at the end of 2024, what would that look like? What would your physique look like? Health? What would your mental health look like? What would your relationship look like? Or love life or friend life? And then what would your financial life look like? Wealth. Okay, so your own unique flavor of success. Whatever came up for you when I was doing that little brief meditation. Hopefully you weren't closing your eyes if you were driving. The next monthly meetup this is number 24, 2 years. 2 years in a row of monthly meetups. So we have got it figured out at this point to a pretty good extent. So these are getting good, getting real good. 3 things holding you back from your unique version of success. So whatever came up for you when I was talking about that, that's your own unique version of success. Because I think when people think of success, they think of just wealth. Mm. And I know we don't think of just wealth. We don't want to be in love, but not healthy. We don't want to be healthy, but not in love. We don't want to be healthy, wealthy, but not in love. So health, wealth, and love, what is your own unique version of each of those? And we're going to help you with the 3 things holding you back from your own unique version of success. The link to register will be in the show notes.
Tomorrow, for episode number 1516, Seeing is Believing might be holding you back. I know for a long time I used to say that. I used to say, seeing is believing. I needed the result in order to believe that the result was actually possible, and I understand that a lot of us go through that type of phase, and whether it's self-belief or understanding how to look into the future a little bit, it depends. But we're going to talk about that tomorrow for a happy Friday episode. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we don't have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
We'll talk to you next time. Next Level Nation.